Let me tell you the books that we have at our health retreat. One book is called The Great Cholesterol Deception by Dr. Peter Dingle. Another book is called The Great Cholesterol Con by Dr. Malcolm Kendrick. Another book, which is an e-book, is The Great Cholesterol Lie by Dr. Dwight Lundell. He's a cardiovascular surgeon. He's performed 10,000 bypasses, and he's written a book, The Great Cholesterol Lie. The Great Cholesterol Myth by Johnny Bowden. We've got another one called The Great Cholesterol Hoax, 101 Lies. We're running out of words. Dr. Malcolm Kendrick, in his book, The Great Cholesterol Con, he says there is no proof. We've been deceived. So when they increase the cholesterol-lowering medication, which so many are on, sadly, what does that do? Well, what it does is it blocks the pathway in the liver that the liver uses to make cholesterol, but it's the same pathway that the liver uses to make coenzyme Q10. What's coenzyme Q10? It's your heart protective enzyme. So someone can go on cholesterol-lowering medication to reduce their heart disease and increase their risk. Surely that's reducing heart disease, has it? No. Something else is happening. Are you ready for the side effects of cholesterol-lowering medication? Dementia, Alzheimer's, memory loss, muscle wasting, and they've just added another one, breast cancer, because your sex hormones are made from cholesterol. So if you're on cholesterol-lowering medication, you can stop immediately. There will be a side effect. Your memory will return. That's the only side effect. 1,700 cases of Alzheimer's are being diagnosed every week in Australia. Okay, so cholesterol-lowering medication, fat-free diet, margarine, surely that's reduced heart disease? No, because it's a false theory. In his research, Ansel Keys, he had to eliminate the Maasai. They live on blood, milk and meat, zero heart disease. He had to put them out of the equation. They don't prove his theory. Is that true science? Mind you, they don't live long because their poor gut can't handle no fibre, but they don't have heart disease. We've been spun a lie. I'm sorry to break the news to you. Well, they've tried something else. This is another great deception. When I was in America 2 years ago running a health retreat in Alabama, we had a nutritionist do our program. She was 69. She was in very good nick for her age, still working. She said, I have the advantage of being trained in university 40 years ago. She said, 40 years ago, we were taught that a cholesterol level under 300 was perfectly safe. Now, on Australian standards, that would be about 7.5. Did you hear that? Perfectly safe. She said they've dropped the levels. In America, it's now 200. Anyone over 200 is put on cholesterol-lowering medication. What would that be in Australia? Is that 5.5? Is that true? Anyone over 5.5 in Australia is put on cholesterol-lowering medication? Okay, so cholesterol-lowering medication, fat-free diet, they've lowered the levels. Surely that has reduced heart disease, has it? Not at all. Not at all. It's still the #1 killer. Yet Alzheimer's come up, mental illness has come up because your brain cannot function without cholesterol. So they set up the Framingham Heart Study to prove that high cholesterol causes heart disease. I like this study because it wasn't set up by the pharmaceutical companies or the dairy industries or the meat industries or the grain and cereal industries. It's an independent study, little town, 30,000 people, been done over 30 years. Some die, more put on, and it's not proving that high cholesterol cause heart disease. They're finding that people with low and medium cholesterol levels are still having heart attacks. Notice that that doesn't reach the newspaper, because the pharmaceutical companies are making a lot of money out of people on cholesterol-lowering medication. Because if you put on cholesterol-lowering medication, how long are you told you're on it for? Life. But do you know what this study is showing? People with high cholesterol levels don't get Alzheimer's. Would you like me to give you a moment's silence for that? Because what does your brain need? Cholesterol. Can't function without it. Sorry, we've been spun a lie. So you can see how important the liver is. It makes cholesterol according to the demands, and our body needs it. Dr. Malcolm Kendrick said for the first time, normal levels of a normal vital body substance is being called a disease. But what I'd like to look at now is what happens with everything that comes out of your body. And I'd like to show you what happens at Misty Mountain Health Retreat when our guests fast for 2 days. You see, when you fast for 2 days, we serve fresh fruit and vegetable juices every 2 hours. When you fast for 2 days, digestion stops. And we're not giving enough fuel to run on, and so your body starts to break down fat stores. And something else a little bit more sinister is being released. It's your fat-soluble toxins that have been stored in our fat cells over many a year. And your body cannot release fat-soluble toxins in a fat-soluble state. They have to be broken down to a water-soluble state. Then they can be released. So let me show you how this happens. This is the symbol of the fat-soluble toxin. Phase 1. So our guests on Monday, when they're fasting, their liver goes into phase 1 of the breakdown. In phase 1, the liver takes this fat-soluble toxin and it breaks it down to a metabolite. A metabolite simply means first stage of metabolism. This metabolite is a lot more complicated than it originally was. It's actually highly volatile. This metabolite creates a lot of free radicals. And free radicals damage the tissues. This metabolite can sometimes be 100 times more toxic than it originally was, especially in the breakdown of alcohol. You might say, well, what's the liver done? It's just created something worse than it originally was. It's a process. It's like when I clean out my kitchen cupboards. My kitchen looks 100 times messier than when I started. It's a process. But your liver has certain needs at this phase. It needs antioxidants. Antioxidants are given a nickname, free radical scavengers. So what are your most potent antioxidants? Beta-carotene, that's found in your orange and your green-coloured vegetables. And vitamin C, ascorbic acid with bioflavonoids, and vitamin E, a fat-soluble vitamin. We have to be eating fat to get our fat-soluble vitamins. Now, within 36 hours of beginning a detox, a fast, phase 2 kicks in. In phase 2, the liver takes this highly volatile metabolite and it joins it together with amino acids. The union of the amino acids and the toxic metabolite creates the water-soluble state. And remember, as a water-soluble state, it can be easily released out of the body. And its symbol is a wave in a box. Phase 3 happens in conjunction with phase 2. In phase 3, your liver takes this water-soluble state and releases it out via your urine, releases it out via your sweat glands, releases it out via your colon. And that's why at Misty Mountain Health Retreat, every afternoon our guests go in a steam sauna and have a good sweat. Important part of the detox. So what I have shown you here has only been known since 2002. And what I have shown you explains why